Okay. I really hope that this actually goes up this time. I'm going to take off my glasses. I have been, I probably have like three morning pages videos that I haven't actually posted because they've kind of been like last minute and um, they haven't come together. Before I keep talking, I'm going to start my meditation moment and start my timer. All right, I have my 10-minute timer going. Yeah, so I've made some videos that I've intended to post that I haven't posted. And I think I'm like starting to come back around to creating the space here for myself. Also, coming back around to actually meditating. So I think the meditating comes first, and then getting back into this, which is this next level, next layer of meditation for myself. Kind of making now getting back into that. And I think about myself starting this series and posting these, and I feel like that person is a badass, and I'm not that badass anymore. But I hope I can kind of re-badassify myself. Um, I know that part of what I said is not having an agenda for this. First of all, side note, I love that I have these guitars strewn in the background as though I'm constantly playing guitar. I'm not. I just have been too lazy to put them away. And it's kind of a nice energy to add to the background. Speaking of energy, I'm going to light my candle. Um, but yeah, I have said I wasn't going to do an agenda for this, but sometimes it's kind of nice to know what I want to rant about or pop off on for 10 minutes a little bit in advance. So I'm going to talk about Swag by Justin Bieber and see if I have 10 minutes worth of conversation to put to that. I have been loving Swag, and I posted a really, really short thing on my Instagram / on a TikTok moment that just really fully summarizes my feelings about, or I guess my initial impressions, initial feelings about Swag. I think it is really important. I think it's really beautiful so far, and I'll add the screenshot or whatever of that video to this because it's pretty succinct what my feeling is. It's really clear how Michael Jackson inspired it is. That's the main note that I have, and I've been seeing online everyone kind of commenting about the Michael Jackson inspiration, so it's nice that it's not just me hearing that, feeling that. It's just so clear. And actually, the first song on the album, someone pulled out the sample behind it and showed that Human Nature was threaded behind it, which kind of makes me want to cry. I was hoping that something would make me want to cry because I was thinking about the last time I did a music review and it was for Lucy Dacus, and I did literally cry here. So yeah, the fact that Human Nature was woven behind that first song makes me genuinely cry because I think it's so beautiful. And I just think that the lead up to this, if you aren't aware, it's a marketing marvel question, brings up a lot of questions about, was this a strategic move or was it genuine? What's his relationship with the paparazzi? What's his relationship with fans and the media? It brings up all of these questions of like, was this intentional? But if you follow pop culture, I love pop culture, I love music, I love all these things, so following it is fun for me. There's research that says that people who care about pop culture are dumb, to which I say, maybe we're happier. I don't know. I just think that that's so sad. The idea that people who find joy in things that, you know, large groups of people are participating in, that would make you dumb. Maybe that's why there's a lot of depression in higher education, in academia, all these things of like this imposition of being highbrow or being into elitism. Probably makes you pretty sad. So if I'm dumb for loving pop culture, I'd rather be dumb and happy. Anyway, so there's just all this going around about if Justin Bieber's about to die because of drug use and that he's having addiction problems, and, you know, fighting with paparazzi. Side note, something that I put in my TikTok, I can't believe that paparazzi is legally able to do what they do still. I think that that is like that is a case that's waiting to happen, to really start defining and setting more legal precedent. It does beg the question, though, if maybe he is intentionally allowing that, like intentionally allowing that role space from paparazzi, and if there's a reason for it. But nonetheless, assuming that it is not wanted and it is genuine, what's come out of it's not clocking for you, bro, that I'm standing on business and just fighting with paparazzi and invasion of privacy and all the speculation about him and his relationship and his drug use and his health and all these things, assuming that that is not contrived for the media as publicity or something, or a way to stay relevant, which I'd like to assume the best and assume that that's not what's happening. It is crazy that that is still legal. And I think that that must be why the role of Michael Jackson, or in that album, is present, because I feel like it's pretty clear that, you know, Michael Jackson had this talent and life destroyed by media, crazy fans, just paparazzi, you know, and the result of what we're left with Michael Jackson is all of his wrongdoings, all of his flaws, all of his mistakes, and we miss the brilliance of who he was, which is so tragic. It really feels like a tragedy, and I think that there were a lot of us kind of maybe watching Justin Bieber becoming that tragedy, and it seemed like that was unfolding before our eyes, was a tragedy like that. And I know I was sort of bracing myself for impact, because I do think that Justin Bieber is a beautiful talent, and I think more than that, he has had this resilience that is really underappreciated. The idea that this was a child who was forced into stardom, or, you know, chose stardom arguably without real consent, and knowing that he had really strong relationships with P. Diddy, who, you know, we know a lot. Hopefully, if anyone is interested in this video regarding pop culture, you have some awareness of what's happened with P. Diddy. And so, yeah, I mean, the resilience. I've also been thinking a lot about the sketches making fun of Justin Bieber, and like about how he looks, which I remember them being funny, but also just sad, because it's so making fun of someone for the way that they look, who is in the public eye like that, who has clearly been through the ringer. Maybe it's a way of like relationship building, giving him time, and also kind of, you know, I guess it doesn't have to be called relationship building, but, you know, like teasing is a way of showing love. So maybe there was like a teasing to that, but still, like, it hurts me thinking about how cruel people were about him. I can't imagine what it's like for him to have to walk through life having been under so much scrutiny for so much of his life, when in reality, like, he has walked a life of staying committed to a purpose that he internalized very early on, a purpose of making music and wanting that to be a driving force of his life. It probably was a driving force also of being like, I can make a lot of money for this. I'm sure there were family dynamics, which is probably also related to his connection with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson being kind of like the breadwinner for the Jackson family, who, yes, music, but also this is a ticket to make a lot of money. So I haven't talked at all about the album itself yet, and I have technically a minute left in my 10-minute time that I set for myself, so maybe I'll go over a little bit, but I think the McGee was a big force on this album, and his music is really beautiful. Seeing Dijon as a feature, I think that's a huge highlight on this album. It makes so much sense. It's sort of like, if it's almost like Justin Bieber, if he hadn't become Justin Bieber at such a young age, if he had had the life of a musician without fame so young, what would that his life look like now? Not to diminish his skills or who he is, but those forces shaped his voice, shaped his skills, shaped the time that he was spending. So spending so much time performing for arenas versus developing the passion and the skill and whatnot. Not to say that he doesn't have that, and it's kind of like how the process works to work with producers and contributing musicians and whatnot, but I just think it's a really beautiful marriage of like a peer group for Justin Bieber that is appropriate, and it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. The album is beautiful in so many ways. I think it's so easy to undermine. That's my timer. It's so easy to undermine pop because there is so much force behind realizing those visions. But you also, I put this in my little blurb. Pop has a custodian. I've been using the word custodian so much lately. I don't know why. There's got to be something about that. Is there anything in the Bible about the role of the custodian? Or like a steward, right? There's the face of the pop music is a steward that holds so much responsibility. And when you think about Justin Bieber, and we all think that we're witnessing this fall, we all think that we're bracing ourselves for impact to hear about his fall, his demise, his decline. And then he comes and creates this beautiful piece of work that I always use, like, my feeling about listening to pop music is it's like it feels like being an insect. And this is making me cry too. It feels like being an insect when you are listening to something and you know that the whole world is listening to it. And you're just like, we are all pulsing to this incredible new thing that has awakened some new reality, some new moment. And the person who's at the steward role of that is it's a hard position to be in. I don't think a lot of people would wish that upon themselves. And, you know, kind of like stepping into the grace of the privilege along with the responsibility that must come with that is really an accomplishment that I don't think gets enough credit. So I think it's beautiful. I think this is his best album since Purpose, probably better than Purpose. Or wait, is that the one I'm thinking of? I think it is. I'm going to check really quick. Yes, Purpose. Purpose was incredible. And I think it was hard for Purpose to get eclipsed. And I think this album matches Purpose in all of what it is so far. Probably eclipses it in some ways. Obviously, it's a new thing. And I hope there's something else that comes from it. Kind of like maybe something more I don't know, something else. The last thing I'll say that I just want to add, which is less important, but the first thing I noticed that I just think is baller and I'm obsessed with is the audio quality. So I think I first listened on my phone or maybe my headphones, and the audio was blown out, all these things. And I was just like, I can't wait to listen to this on better speakers. And even, so I listened to my car. My car has better speakers than my phone, my headphones, whatever. And I was like, I can't wait to listen to this in the car. Listen to it in the car. And the car speakers got kind of blown out too. Not that they're broken, but, you know, there's depth to whatever mixing went into this. And I was just like, I want to go to a sound room. Oh my God. If we could go to a sound room and just be immersed in the mix, because my headphones won't do it. I was just like, yeah, I love this so much. So yeah, I don't know why that makes me so like emotional. And I think it's beautiful to like be able to cry about wanting to listen to an incredible mix. But like, I love that it wasn't designed for like everyone. It wasn't like, it's a pop moment, but it was like audio and sound has crazily improved, and I would assume that really good quality headphones, speakers, something would be able to capture the complexity or the richness. That's what I assume. I could be wrong, but I have pretty good audio, and it didn't seem to be able to handle whatever mixing they did in a lot of those. And or maybe I was listening early. I don't really know. I'm going on a tangent that I don't really want to go down, but made me want to get better speakers. And I feel like if I could leave one note for the Bieber people, the Bieber people, it would be, it made me want to get better headphones, made me want to get better audio. And like, if that's not a sign of success, I don't know what is. So yeah. I was really excited to kind of feel like I could crystallize my thoughts on this, put it onto my little niche corner space on the internet. And I hope I can keep doing reviews, and I hope I can get a little bit more back into a rhythm about this. So that's it.